It's Thursday. We obliterate obstacles on Thursday. We always start with a little bit of a dance party. So if you are not dancing, get up and move. You gotta loosen up a little bit. Have some fun. It's not all professional all the time. So a little bit of dancing. We're not gonna pick today. Actually, let's have a little background music while we talk. We're not gonna pick out of here today. We are not gonna pick out of here today. There is a reason why. Have you ever had this happen? Where multiple people are asking you a question or making statements, and there's some similarity, there's some common ground between all of those different things. When that happens, I have learned that's a sign from the universe that you're supposed to talk about that. Because if multiple people are asking you about it, there is a need, and you need to lean into that. So there are two things that have come up. Okay, I gotta just turn it down. There are two things that have come up recently, and they kind of they're connected, but there's no way I can unpack both of them in the same time. One is this idea of, oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed. I have so much going on, and there's so many places to be and so many things to do. And do I need to be on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok? And do I need to have a podcast? And do I need to have a Facebook group? And it's just so many places to be. How do I know where to be? And how do I be at all of them? But also, how do I take advantage of all of the things, different coaches and different offerings and different things, even in this group? It's so much. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, that's one part. The other part of it is I'm frustrated with my business. I'm not making the money I want. I'm not making the traction that I'm wanting. It's hard. I feel alone, isolated, whatever words you want to use in there. And as a result of that, sometimes I just go, I don't know that it's worth it. Should I be doing this, or should I just go get a job? Okay. So there's kind of a correlation between the two. But I've heard both of these things from multiple people. And I'm curious, those of you that are on with me live, have you ever experienced either one of those? So drop in a comment, overwhelm or hard. Overwhelm or hard, because they are definitely connected. So I don't think we can talk about both of these today. So we're going to let chance dictate which one we're going to do. Okay. So I'm going to fold them up. And then we're going to fold this one up. Okay, and we're going to mix them up. Randomness. Okay, which one? Which one's it going to be? Which one is it? Overwhelm. Okay. Oh, is that backwards? Is that upside down? There we go. We're going to talk about overwhelm first, which means next Thursday, we will talk about this one. Okay, so next Thursday, we'll talk about this one. Today, we're going to talk about overwhelm. Okay. You are in control. You get to decide. And I think what happens is all of these great coaches are great marketers. And as a result, they're telling you, you need to do this and you need to do this. If you want to be successful, you need to do this. If you want to be successful, you need to do this. And everybody's telling you this. And so it's absolutely easy and natural for us to go, I don't know which to go. I don't know which to do. Which is right? Which decision do I make? And we end up having a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. If I don't do that thing, if I don't take advantage of this, I won't be a success. And so I got to do that. And I got to do this. And we get so distracted by all of the different things. Now that same overwhelm can happen, as I described earlier, where it's like, I got to be on TikTok. I got to be on Instagram. I got to be on LinkedIn. I got to have a YouTube channel. I got to have a podcast. I got to have a Facebook group. I got to have all the things. It's overwhelming. And what happens, I learned a wonderful word this week from Deb Day. I hope she doesn't mind me calling on her, because I just did. And that is that it can tend to feel diluted. I feel diluted. Because I'm trying to do all of the things, and you can't. Nobody can. Coaches and gurus out there that are telling you that you can be in all of those places, they likely have help. Or they're selling you a program that would help you. That's why they're saying you have to be in all of those places. Okay. I'm going to check comments, because I see a bunch of comments coming in. So I want to see what you guys are saying here. So, all right. Sherry says, a little overwhelmed, super busy. Yes. Right. And it's like, even in your, and some of you have 9-to-5 jobs. Some of you are doing both your business and a 9-to-5 job. And you're like, how do I make time for all of it? just full-time in your business, it's like, I've got so much to do. My to-do list is 72 pages long. It's overwhelming, right? Okay. There's some comments about, I need to quit my day job. I need to quit my day job. I know some people just quit the day job. So yes, for sure. So agreed. Absolutely. Yes to both. Sometimes it's just too much. Okay. So what do you do when you're in this situation? Okay. I got lots of ideas for you, but I think the point is this. There is no one answer. It's not a cookie cutter. Okay. If I honestly knew the one secret, I would tell you the one secret, and I would be a millionaire because I could sell that one secret that for sure would work for everyone in all cases and all scenarios. And the reality is that we're all different. We're all unique. What drives one person doesn't drive another, and vice versa. So what I'm going to give you today are some different options, but ultimately you have to decide. You have to decide what you prioritize. Now, how do you make that decision? How do you decide what to prioritize? That's the hard part, right? It's one thing to say, yeah, I know I need to prioritize it. But it's a whole other thing to actually make those tough decisions, because, one of the things that I learned in corporate many, many years ago is that it's oftentimes not about prioritizing, but it is about deprioritizing. It is about deciding what you're no longer going to do, what no longer serves you, what no longer helps you in some way. Oftentimes, if you start there and you remove some of those things, you're going to free yourself up. So I'll tell you just a bit of a story. Many of you know that I was flat on my back last week with back injuries, and I could do nothing. I couldn't even lean up on a pillow and have my laptop. It was excruciating. I was flat. Although I tried to hold my phone up, like this. Like, your arms get tired. It was just not good. So I had nothing to do but think for a whole week. And I cannot tell you, forget the back pain for a second, but can't tell you how much better I felt as a whole person after that week of doing nothing. That's why we all need breaks. That's why we all need vacations. Even if you love what you do, you need those breaks. And I was determined that things were going to be different. I even did a post. Many of you saw it. I did a post about what did I learn from being flat on my back for a week and what's going to be different going into this week. Well, let me tell you, by about midday Tuesday, I was already back in the frenetic, oh my gosh, so much to do. I'm not going to get it all done. And I remember having this thought of, okay, I'm going to skip yoga. I'm not going to cook tonight. We'll order a pizza. And I was eliminating all of the things that I vowed that I wasn't going to eliminate anymore. I was sucked right back into that. So in the middle of that, I stopped and made brownies. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm making brownies, and my husband is like, what are you doing? I thought you had all this to do. And I said, I've got to show my brain that I have all the time in the world to make brownies, because it's a trick of the brain that is making me feel all of this pressure to do all of this stuff and things. And so for however long it takes to make brownies, I don't know. I'm not talking about baked cooking time. I'm talking about, mixing the batter. I was just present in measuring the stuff out and putting the ingredients in. And by the time I had the batter ready, poured into the bowl, and was ready to put it in the oven, I'd had some ahas. I'd had some downloads, whatever you like to call them. And I recognized, okay, here's what's most important. Here's what I need to not do. Here's how I'm going to prioritize and finish and wrap up my day. You may need to do more of those things. And I'm not advocating. I don't want anybody to go out and say, Jamie said I need to make brownies every afternoon. Although, wouldn't that be fun? What I'm saying is, stop the things in those moments where you're like, oh, that's when you need those moments of stop and focus. However you stop and focus. Is that quiet time? Is it doing a little dance? Is it singing or humming? Is it going to take the dog for a walk? Is it just sitting in silence? Is it making brownies? Figure out what you can do to be 100% present in that moment in time, and watch how everything settles down around you. Okay. For some of you, it's about, I just got to do a brain dump. I got to get all the stuff out of my head, all of the things I got to do, and I got to get it on a list. That's a great strategy, right? Whether you write it down on paper or you use something like Trello or whatever you're using to get your to-dos, get it out of here and on paper. And then prioritize those things. Now let's talk a little bit about how you prioritize those things. You can have a little competition with, one of the tactics, I learned this from Stephanie Thompson, write them on cards, write them on little pieces of paper, and then put them in order of what's most important to do, and then go in order. Okay. I know other things do is to put them all on a flip chart paper. I can't believe I'm going to show you this, but here's mine. For those of you that are going to get seasick here, I'm going to move. Okay. Those are all to-dos. But it works for me, right? What works for one person may not work for somebody else. And then every day I go and I look at my board and I think, what's most important for me to do today? Because it makes me crazy to be moving things around into time block. For some of you, it may be easier to time block, okay? But what's most important is to, I found these at Target. Don't everybody go out and buy them. Well, you can go out and buy them wherever you are, but just don't come to Rapid City and buy them because I'm going to need to buy them in bulk. And it's this. Today's top 3, and there's 3 little boxes. And I go and I stand in front of that, or I look at my to-do list, or you could go to your Trello board and you can say, of everything on this list, what's most important for me to get done today? Okay. Don't get overwhelmed, right? It's the trick of the brain telling you got to do all of this stuff. You got to be more productive. You got to get done. Do more, do more, do more. It's crap. Prioritize and say, if I do 3 things, okay? Stephanie Thompson taught me this. If you do 3 things, even if you do 3 things every week, let's say you just do 3 things every week. That's 12 things in a month that you got done. Okay. If you do 3 things every day, that's 15 things you got done this week. That's 60 things you got done in a month. It's plenty. But our brains tell us we have to do more. We have to be more productive. Where does that come from? It's crap is what it is. And there's probably work that you can do to figure out where that's coming from. There are probably some limiting beliefs that you grew up with that tell you you can't be lazy and you got to be productive, and how you be successful is to work your butt off. No. I have found the more white space and quiet time and thinking time I have, and the less I do, and the more I just be, the more success that I have. Okay, because I'm working on the right things. It is the epitome of work smarter, not harder. Okay, so that's a little bit about how do I deal with all of the stuff and things that are overwhelming. Now let's talk a little bit about, and by the way, any questions on that? I see some comments about, love that. Okay, good. Any comments about things that you all do, those of you that are with me live, to manage your tasks and deal with your own overwhelming of all of the ideas and things that you're working on? I'd love for you to drop those in the comments, and we'll share on screen. Let's switch now and talk about overwhelm in terms of all the places to be, right? I need to be on Facebook. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on all of the things. Okay, Sherry says, I bet you feel more accomplished by focusing on the 3 and done. Yes. Because what happens is if you have this, tell me if this resonates with you. You have a to-do list. This literally happened yesterday to me. Yesterday was my CEO day, which is my day once a week where I focus on things that I want to work on, whether it's my development or strategizing or planning or getting caught up. And I don't take client calls. I don't do videos. Every Wednesday is blocked for that. So I had a long list of things to do. And by midday, I was looking at it and I was like, I have this long list of things and I've gotten 2 done. I'm a failure. Because why? Who says I'm a failure? Because I put 72 things on my to-do list and I didn't get to them all? Well, set myself up for failure. If instead, to Sherry's point, I just focus on 3 things and I get all 3 things done, you bet your booty I feel way more accomplished. And you know what? Sometimes I might get more than this done, and then I feel really, really good. Okay. Tammy says, I don't feel like I need to be on all, but I'm frustrated with technology, and I feel like I get stuck every day. Oh, we're going to come back to that, Tammy. I feel the same way. Okay, so let's talk about, I got to be on all the places. And the overwhelm that comes with, I got to be on Facebook, I got to be on Instagram, I got to do this. What happens is, this gets back to that whole idea of being deluded. We say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a video and I'm going to post it everywhere. And then I am everywhere. The problem is that you don't get the all-in benefits of being on a platform if you're just posting. It's never going to move the needle. It's never going to be enough, because the way all of the algorithms in each platform work is they want you to do all of the things. They want you to engage with people and comment on other people's things and follow people and do Messenger and do all of the stuff inside their platform. So when I say you got to go all in, that means all of the things. And let's just take 2 examples. Let's say I'm going to be on Facebook and Instagram. There's no way, maybe you could do 2 if you really busted your butt. But you add a 3rd one or a 4th one, no way, no how. You can't get it all done and not do all of the things. So here's what I want you to understand. Any single platform has millions of people on it. Millions. How many clients do you need to make the money you need to make? Do you need more than 1 million? My guess is no. And so what happens is we get FOMO and we think, if I am only on Facebook and I ignore Instagram, what if I have a person there that would buy from me? Okay. And then you could say that about Twitter and Threads and YouTube, and all of a sudden now you're deluding yourself again. And because you're half-assing it, sorry, but you're not going to get anywhere. If you go to one platform and you go all in and you say, this is my baby, I'm going to focus all my attention here. Because you're doing all of the things, it's going to work better for you. The algorithm is going to work better for you. And when you start making money, now you can outsource the other stuff. You can get people to help you. Because everybody who's on all of these different platforms, they have help. I promise you they have help. They're either using a VA, or they're outsourcing different things, or they've got somebody creating stuff. There's no way they're doing it as a solopreneur on all of those different platforms. So how do you pick? What's the right platform? Whichever one you're going to go all in on is the right platform. Any of them have millions. You can't pick wrong. So pick which platform feels best to you, and pick which platform your people are on. Okay, so if your ideal client is younger generational people, they're probably on TikTok or Instagram. If your ideal audience is more, sorry, but maybe a little bit older, like my age and older, then we're on Facebook. If your audience, you see, it's like, know which platform serves whom, and where are you most comfortable and where are you most people, and pick it and go wrong and go all in with that decision, and resist the temptation, resist the FOMO of all of the other marketers who are out there saying, you got to be on TikTok, you got to be on Reels, you got to do this. What feels best and most authentic to you? Start there. Start there, get good at it, and then add another one in. Okay? So this whole idea around, coaches are offering different things. And listen, I'm one of those coaches. I got a workshop next week. I'm getting ready to tell you all about my next group coaching program, which is all about Facebook groups. So I'm going to be one of those people saying, hey, if you need help with this, come and take my program. And there are thousands of us doing that, probably more than that. And it's so easy to get sucked into, oh, I need that. I'm this. They're talking to me. That we start to get overwhelmed. So we're going to talk about that next. But I want to go back to Tammy's comment first. So Tammy's comment is, I don't feel like I need to be on all, but technology frustrates me. Same. And what I find myself doing, I don't know if this resonates with Tammy or anyone else, is I say that all the time. I'm so bad at tech. I don't get tech. Tech is my enemy. Tech is my nemesis. Tech. And so you are manifesting more bad stuff, more tech problems. Now, that doesn't diminish the fact that we have tech problems, okay? They exist. It's a real thing. And it can be a real challenge for more people than others. And I'm putting myself in that category, right? But the more we tell ourselves that, we're creating this mindset of, I'm stuck at this, I'm bad at this, I'm horrible at this, tech is hard, I don't like it, etc. So start talking to yourself differently. Sandy did a wonderful session yesterday about the inner voice and how we talk to ourselves and that negative voice. And whether you think it or not, and you're talking about, I suck at this, that's negative inner voice. So how can you reframe that? She gave a whole bunch of strategies over there, and it applies to this stuff too. So I find myself now not saying, I'm working, it is a practice because I'm not great at it, at not saying I suck at technology. I'm so bad at technology. Technology is so hard. I'm on rinse repeat over it. I find myself saying, no, I can't talk about it that way. I got to reset my frame of reference and how I talk to myself about it. And I have to say, okay, I have enough time and space in my day that I'm going to figure out how to do this. Now, and there's probably better ways. Again, Sandy would be a great one to help you reframe this. Okay, so that's part one of this whole technology thing. The other thing is that you've all heard me talk about start, suck, get better. Okay. Oftentimes, I don't know if this resonates with you, Tammy, or anybody else, but we feel like it's all on us to figure out this problem by ourselves. And it is hard sometimes to ask for help. I know that's me. It's hard to ask for help. But what I recognize is that I know Sherry's on, so I'm going to use her as an example. We had a call in the Go Lively earlier today, and Sherry mentioned the word voice, do a Google voice number. And we were talking about having a phone number. Okay, that's a tangent. I'm going to stop. Anyway. So I wrote down myself a note and I'm like, I got to figure this out. And immediately I thought, oh, that's another thing of technology. I'm going to figure out, I'm not good at this. It's going to be so hard. It's going to take me hours to figure this out. Oh my gosh. And I immediately went down that path of negative mindset. I can't do this. It's hard. It's impossible. It's going to give me struggles. It's going to be painful. Wrong mindset. Instead, it's, I really want to do this thing. And so I'm going to figure out a way to do this. And you know what that's probably going to be? I'm going to have to ask Sherry for help. Because Sherry can probably help me do that like this in seconds, or point me to a resource, or point me in the right direction. And instead of me spending hours struggling with technology, instead I'm going to think, who do I know that does this? Can I either pay them for their time, or could I do a trade? Could they maybe help me with something that I don't know? Right? Could I ask Sherry to get on a call with me and help me with the Google Voice? By the way, Sherry, I'm going to ask you to help me with Google Voice and one other thing. And I'm going to say to Sherry, can I trade you? Right? If you will give me an hour of your time to help me with this, I'll give you an hour of my time and I can help you with something else. Okay? So look at what Sherry's saying right now. Done and done. I'll help you. People want to help. Leverage the people in this community. You can always post. And I know some of you are watching from my personal profile, but in my Facebook group, if you need help with something and you want to post and you can say, hey, does anybody know how to do Google Voice? Post it. We're a community of people and we need to help each other. So rather than being overwhelmed and frustrated, whether it's technology or anything else, leverage your resources and lean into asking for help. Okay? And while we're on that subject, if you need help figuring out what your priorities are, if you need help figuring out what should I do and not do, how do I organize this? How do I figure out my to-do list? Those are things that you can ask other people for help for, things that they're doing. And yeah, maybe you have to pay them for their time, but isn't it probably worth that hour? You might pay somebody for an hour and it saves you 6, 7, 8 hours of struggling and frustration. So you got to consider that. Okay. Tammy, I don't know if that answered your question or not, but that was a great segue. And I think it was totally relevant to this kind of conversation. Okay. Sherry, nobody wants to pick up dog poop, right? Pay somebody $10. I once saw a video or a reel that said, how much do you make per hour? Like, what is your hourly rate? If you can pay somebody a significantly less amount than that, then it's worth outsourcing. So if I can pay some neighborhood kid, I know this because Sherry told the story earlier, $5 to pick up dog poop, that saves me an hour time where I can be making something else. And I get that it's hard because you're not making any money. And so you're like, I'll just do all of the things. And that drives the overwhelm. Okay. So oftentimes the answer is about what can I not do? What can I delegate? It takes a lot of stuff off your plate. Okay. Last thing that I'll touch on, unless you guys have other questions. Okay, here. Sherry says she's going to do a video. I think you should. I think that would be awesome, Sherry. Who doesn't want to learn how to get a Google Voice number? Yes. Do a video for us. Add that to your to-do list. I'm just making your overwhelm worse. Okay. But thank you for offering that, Sherry. Maybe what we can do is you can help me and we'll record it and then we can post it. Then you don't have to do extra work. Yes, I'm kind of self-serving there, isn't it? I'm gonna pay you for your time, or we'll do a trade and then we'll record it and then everybody can benefit. How's that sound? This is what I'm talking about. When I talk about you, we have to act like a community here. How can we do things to help support each other, and how can we use that to help other people benefit? Okay. So one of you might post something in the Facebook group and say like, hey, does anybody know how to do XYZ? And you might partner with somebody who says, yeah, I'll do it. Record that and then share it with everybody, because you never know who else it might help in this community. Okay. Last thing, and then we'll wrap up. See, this is why there was no way we were going to get to this other topic. Look at all those golden nuggets in here. Okay. The other thing on overwhelm. This is the last thing that I wanted to touch on, was this whole bit of overwhelm of other coaches' programs that I want to take. And oftentimes it's the free stuff, right? Because this is free and that's free. And they're doing a challenge, or they've got a workshop that's free, or they're doing a live, or they've got a 3-part series, right? And we want it. Oh my gosh, we want it so bad, because we think that's going to make the difference. We're hopping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing in hopes that we're going to learn some magic secret. There is no magic secret. You know what you need to do. You know, you've probably consumed courses, content, whatever else that is out there. The challenges that we consume and we don't apply. Oftentimes because we're overwhelmed and we don't make the time to do it. So those might be something, if that resonates with you, that may be something you need to prioritize. If I take a course, if I go to a challenge, am I making the time in my calendar to apply it? Because if you don't apply it, if you don't actually do what you've just learned, it can go in one ear and out the other. And now that hour or 3 hours or however much time it took for you to learn that, to consume that content, when you don't apply it and do something with it, wasted time. The other thing that I will say is that you likely know how to do this stuff. And if you don't know, and maybe that's the question to ask. Maybe that's the real question to ask. When you are tempted to buy a program or tempted to join or whatever it is this stuff I don't know how to do? Is it going to help me push my business forward? And do I have the time I need to apply what I'm learning? Make that part of your decision point, rather than I got to grab it because it's free. If it's not the right time and it is not on your priority list, then you know what? It'll circle back around, because all of these coaches do it multiple times, and you can take it another time when you are ready, when you do have the time in the space, when it is more relevant to you. Remember what I said before about that word that Deb Day used? You're diluting yourself by bouncing from one thing to the next, and you're not focused, and you don't have like, this is where I want to go. Okay, I've been talking now for a lot. I hope this was valuable. Those of you that are on with me live, at least give me some, like, was this helpful today? Helpful discussion? Did this help? Let me say this differently. Let's make this your call to action for today. So whether you are with me live or you are watching the replay, I want you to share, what did you learn today that you are going to apply to help with your overwhelm? What one thing? Not 17 things. What one thing did you learn today that you're going to say, this is what I'm going to do different. Starting today, I'm going to do this different. Everybody should share. Okay. If you want more than one, I'll maybe give you 2. But don't try to do 17, because then you're just repeating this whole cycle. If I'm going to do 17 things, I'm never going to get all 17 things done. And then I'm going to get frustrated with myself. And now I'm going to start talking negative to myself. And now I'm just caught right back up in that same loop. Okay, so your call to action is to share that. Okay, let's see what we have in some comments here. Okay. Sherry says, master one thing at a time, go on to the next. It's overwhelming learning too much. Yes. In fact, you bring this up. This overwhelming thing has come up a lot in people who are joining the Go Live League. So I would love to pick some of your brains. Those of you that are in the Go Live League, I want some feedback on this. So if you're interested and you want to chat with me, maybe I'll just do a call and we'll just talk about it. If you've got ideas or thoughts or just want to be part of coming up with a solution around this, let me know, because this I'm with you on it. I'm with you on it. Okay. Stephanie says, truth. I love it. Yes, Sherry, jack of all trades, master of none, be a master. That's the moral of today's training, right? One thing, or in this case, 3 things. Get them done, do them right, get them done well. And then if you got time, you do more. Okay, Sherry's going to do the top 3 list. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Game changer. Stephanie says the same thing. Choose one thing. I like it. Okay, Tammy says, reach out to more people on the positive mindset about tech issues. Yes, yes. I'm the same way. Listen, you are like my soul sister, Tammy, because I'm the same way with tech. All right. We've been going for 30 minutes. I hope this was helpful. Hope you got your action item planned. I can't wait to hear it. If you need help with any of this, oh my gosh, this seems like a shameless plug, and that always feels icky to me. 51% off one-on-ones. A couple of you have asked me if I would extend that to Sunday. I will extend that to Sunday. So one-on-ones are 51% off through Sunday. The workshop next week, which is on Facebook groups, is 51% off through Sunday. And if anybody wants to, like you already know, you want to do the 8-week program around Facebook groups, it's also 51% off through Sunday. So I'm extending all of that. But the point here was, if you need help with this overwhelm, let's book a call. And let me see if I can help you. So a one-on-one, normally they're $127. So at 51% off, what does that equal? $62. So $62 for 45 minutes. Let me see if I can't help you. No, let me say that differently. I know I can help you with this, whether it's a mindset thing or making decisions. Just know that those are out there. Okay. That felt weird. But I don't want you to miss out on the sale. Okay. So there you go. That was my motivation. But like Tammy said, reach out to one another. Offer trades. I had somebody reach out to me today and say, hey, I really want to do this workshop next week, but I can't afford it. Can we talk trade? Let's talk trade. And I don't like to do a whole lot of trades, but I'm telling you all that there are a lot of people who are open and willing and wanting to do all of that. Okay. All right. A lot of me talking. You got your call to action. Thank you for tuning in today. Next week, we will talk about this whole idea of being an entrepreneur is hard. And sometimes it may just be easier to go get a job or stay in my 9-to-5 and give up on this whole dream of being an entrepreneur. So we'll talk about that next Thursday. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Thursday. See you later. Bye, guys.